Hi everyone, this is Etsmania. I'm coming to you with another magnet deck profile. So I went to the Frederick, Maryland regional this past weekend. Unfortunately, I bubbled out. My record was X3. Very close to topping. My tiebreakers went just a little bit differently. I definitely could have topped. There were a lot of X3s that did. But I had a really great time. Before I get into the deck profile, I'm going to just go over my matchups and if I won or lost the die roll. I went 50-50 on winning and losing die rolls, but round one I was against Invoked. I 2-0'd him. Super Polyfu was really good against that deck. Round two was versus Phantom Knight Orcust. As a warning, Phantom Knight and Orcust were very popular at this event for some reason. I won this one 2-1 after winning the die roll. Game three, or round three, excuse me. I was against Striker. This guy was really, really good at his deck, and I was not opening well during this. He also evenly the ever living hell out of me. I lost that 1-0-2. Round four was versus Branded Rolad. This is a bad matchup for me in general. I did lose this 0-2. This was a really funny match. I did establish Snap Beast twice, spoilers. Both games, and he added it both times. In each game specifically. So I summoned Nat Beast 4 times. Or it was either 3 or 4, but regardless. Really fun match, really cool dude. He actually did top, which was fantastic. So I'm very happy for him. So shout out to that guy. And then round five was versus Phantom Knight. I won this 2-1. Game two, I punted because I forgot that he could not activate his Dark Monsters effects after impulsing me while Magnum was on the board. Completely forgot about it. It was just I guess I just didn't eat enough or something. And then, but I avoided getting Kaliukin, which is what he was trying to do. So that was the main goal there. I also survived a Requiem OTK. Round six was versus Blitzklick. I won that 2-1. Just as a note, all of the guys that I played against, fantastic. This guy, generally speaking, game one and game three, I just completely either outplayed him or just opened the correct non-engine. Game two, I opened terrible, and that's why he was able to win. Round seven was versus Magistus Fairy Tale. Kind of punted it, but like it was a situation where I just didn't know what was in his hand. He kept in called by for going second in game three. There's not much I can do about that. And then round eight, it was versus Orcust. I won that 2-1. Another player who impulsed themselves while Magnum was here. Don't do that. Don't impulse this deck. If I'm able to get to this, you do just lose. You have to out this and make sure I can't get another one on board. But yeah, the deck performed really, really well in general. I did see, unfortunately, Delusion in my hand a lot, but a lot of this deck is knowing how to get Delusion into the graveyard from your hand. A lot of techs were really, really cool. A lot of people asked for the profile, so that's why I'm doing this video. But yeah, I'm very happy with how the deck was built. I would have made some changes in the side, I think, for going forward. So let's just get into it, and I'll discuss how things go. Also, apologies to the commenters on the last video who I said I would not probably play Nat Beast going forward. I did play Nat Beast. It was just good enough, and we had realized at 11 o'clock, like the night before, that we could quartet it back very easily. So that's why we ended up playing it. For the magnet cards, we're going 3 main deck linear Magnum. This card's broken. There is no reason that this deck does all the 3 things that it does. It makes going for game very easy. Foolishing 2 as cost is crazy, and adding itself back to hand after being destroyed is also insane. So yeah, really great card. If every time I open this I usually won, this card's just that powerful. It just does everything you want it to do. Next, 3 beta. This is the worst starter in the deck in my opinion. Being forced to normal this means that you can't do a lot of other shenanigans. You can't end on your highest ceiling. It's not a bad card at all. Like, I don't want to put that, like, it's just the worst one card because your ceiling's just a little lower than normal. I think it's like maybe 1 less negate if you get there. It's also just not strong if they droll you on this. That's like really the main issue that I had with it. But yeah, but in general, being able to grab this back from graveyard on my opponent's turn is really, really, really good. And then lone firing for something else is strong. Next, 3 of the best extender in the deck. This card's crazy. If I open this, I knew I was playing at least. So this card's just like really, really, really strong in that scenario. The battle negation did come up a lot versus specifically Rolad. You can negate the BLS attack. That's basically it. 2 this guy, 2+. This card's good. 2 is perfect. I opened both copies once, and I think I opened 1 copy twice. You just want 1 in deck. If you have an extra 1 in your hand, it's fine. Like it's like okay, it's an extra name. Sometimes that matters. So yeah, just having 2 was the perfect amount here. 1 Epsilon, never play more than 1. This is a really strong extender. You plus like so much off of this card resolving, but you don't want it in your opening hand. And if you do, it better be with something like beta or minus specifically. You just don't. It doesn't do anything by itself. It just doesn't do enough. But other than that, if this resolves, you're making your full end board. There's no reason unless they're playing Nib that if this like resolves that you're not going to win that game. 1 Omega Plus. This card is just like good for your opening combos. I opened this I think once, maybe twice the whole time. No, it was twice, and one time it was the only magnet in my hand. So it's fine. Like it just makes sure that you get your linear back to your hand for the end phase, or just an extra like end board piece. I use this as link material quite a lot as well. A big change in how I like operate the deck is just valuing this card's interaction just way less. It being an extender is like way better than any sort of like booking you could do. That book effect is really only relevant versus like maybe PK and almost always Cool Tune. Nothing else is really huge for it. It was like okay versus Fairy Tale, just didn't amount to much in general. 1 Delusion. This card loved my hand today, or yesterday rather. Yeah. This card I think was in my hand, I think like 6, 7, 8 times. Yeah, like I had to learn very quickly that this was going to be in my hand a lot. I'm probably going to just eat this copy, and just put in a new one, because I don't want it in my hand. But if you have either this or this, it's not really a problem. And a lot of my combos, if you're doing them properly, you will shuffle this back and resend it like once or twice, just depending on what your hand is. Delusion's end board is really crazy. It was just really, really strong on the board. It was just not great in my hand. 3 Duo. It gets you to bonding, which is the best starter in the deck. Konami, again, please give us a fusion that gets us back bonding. Going second, I set it out at least 1 copy, usually this with Infernal Punisher. This will probably change going forward, because there's a different card I want to play in my side. I'll probably put this down to 2, and this will become a second copy Infernal Punisher. And the reason why that's relevant is because Infernal Punisher summons this from the deck as well. So it becomes an extender that you don't have to activate an effect for. So therefore, other cards will be a little bit better. 1 Guardian and 1 Supplier. Supplier was insane. Anytime I opened this, I was just like very happy. There's a couple of different builds I want to try going forward where I up the copies of this to like 3. Because opening this means that I just get to this immediately, and that's so good. Just insulating plays and like making sure I have things on my end board no matter what is like so good. Yeah, like this card was insane. This card was also really good. I think the most that I looped this was 3 times against the Fairy Tale player that I played against. He was mad. Every time that I brought it back, people were like, "Oh yeah, you can do that again." Yeah, that's something that the deck does. Yeah. So yeah, I played Nat Beast. I don't know if I liked it. It's good. Nat Beast is not a bad card. Let me just make that very clear. Nat Beast is not a bad card. It is just not very strong into this deck's bad matchups, with the exception of Sky Striker. And like Sky Striker is like kind of 50-50 to begin with. I said it's outgoing second a lot as well. Yeah, it's like just okay. The summon from deck usually doesn't matter, and half the time I just don't activate it because I don't want to clog up my board. But yeah, it's like, it's fine. It's not terrible. 3 bonding. Oh, and just like to be clear, this is the 41st card. I was on 41 cards. 3 bonding. Yeah, this best card of the deck. This is the entire deck right here. This card is insane. The fact that like you can activate all 3, you're not going to activate all 3, but the fact that you can is crazy. Yeah, very, very good. 1 induction. This did not resolve only once because someone realized what was happening and ashed it. This card just fixes a lot of your hands, makes a lot of your strong hands even stronger. Yeah, it's just really, really good, and you just need it for like very gummy hands a lot of the time. Also, it makes sure that your what's it called? Your Epsilon resolves under Harmonia and Ogre, which is like super, super relevant. Yeah. Next, all right. So shout out to Kevin Gao for this. He texted me at like 1 a.m. saying like, "Hey, you have to play this." I saw this on like a YouTube video. Some Magnet player was playing it. The idea behind this card is that, granted, you cannot activate the effects of the cards that you're searching, but you're searching cards that you're either going to be activated on your opponent's turn or sending to graveyard so you can revive it and put it on your board on your opponent's turn as well. The other use for it too is that you search Magnum, and most decks, with the exception of Rolad, which is just kind of compounds how bad that matchup is for this deck, its condition to summon itself is an inherent summon. So you can still summon this and send 2 after searching it off Subspace Battle. Typically, I would search this Nib, and just a Fua, or just another copy of this, so I guaranteed follow-up. So that I like, and you get to add 3. If people didn't ash this, I would question their like sanity, because like this card, it says add 3 cards. Like, it also gets better post side. I will be going over a card that I'm probably going to be putting into the side that makes this better as well. So yeah, really like this card. Every time I resolved it, I believe I won that game. So this card's like really, really good, except for the call by incident against Fairy Tale. Woo! 1 Infernal Punisher. As I said before, due to a change in my side deck, this will probably go up to 2. Just so that I can extend a little bit more. 4 non-engine, 3 Fua, standard for the format. 3 Ash, standard for the format. Not standard, 2 Troll. This was the correct call for this event. There were a lot of Phantom Knight, and a lot of Rolad, and this sometimes can hurt KT. There's also a little bit of Mitsu. So this was definitely correct to main for the format. Did I see it? No. I saw it, I think, twice total. And one of those times I opened both and it was versus Blitzclick. So yeah, like if I'd seen it more, it would have been great. But I just didn't. Last hand trap we're playing is Nib. This is fairly standard for Magnets. I've been back and forth on this card in general. I honestly probably should have played more copies of this. Nobody respected this card, and if I resolve this card, I got a free monster on my board. I got a very easy card, to out on my opponent's side, and just basically a free way to kill my opponent. On top of that, if I was able to establish Delusion, and then my opponent then decided to interact with me, I get to take the token, which is also a rock. So yeah, like I probably should have been playing 2. This was just really, really strong. Going forward for a different event, I might just side this, and just put this up to 2, but we'll see. Three Super Poly. This card is like just okay. It's really, really good in the good matchups, and it's like abysmally bad in the bad matchups. Um, this did get cited out every once in a while for this event. Really good. Considering my matchups, this card was really, really, really good. Very happy with how this performed, with the exception against Rolad and Striker specifically. I did Super Poly 0. So that was probably the funniest thing that happened. Next, talents, call by. If we get hand trapped in like a rough spot, it's bad. If we only have one starter, we need one of these to play through it. Yeah, like I saw talents a lot. I think I saw call by once the entire time. And I don't think I think I said it out like once or twice the entire time. Talents, I never said it out. This card was crazy. Like, yeah, like I don't know what else to say about those. Next, extra deck. 2 Magnum in the extra. This card is crazy. If I play against the Impulse deck, I do sometimes just take game 1. That's because they impulse themselves and they don't remember that now their stuff's Earth. It helps you extend. It's a double extender, which is crazy. Yeah, it's pretty good. 1 Flux. This should have been 2. And I'll explain what I would have taken out later. It's pretty obvious. This card was getting... People were terrified of this card. This was getting negated like crazy. I just wasn't able to resolve the Reborn effect half the time off of just having the 1. I should have been I think the one thing that I probably could have been prioritizing more is putting this back in the extra, just so that bonding was more live later. But regardless, I think 2 would have simplified a lot more for me, and made things allow me to go for game a lot quicker. This card just puts so much pressure on the board by itself. So, yeah. 1 Gallant. This is standard. Like, yeah. 1 Cross Sheep, standard. IP, standard. SP, standard. This should be standard. Quartet. This card's crazy. Like, fun fact, if your opponent's playing Super Poly, they can't use the cards that you summon off of this for Super Poly. That's very relevant for you because your deck can be very weak to Super Poly depending what's on your board. And if I don't have Magnum on the board, this goes up by a lot of attack. So this card's just very, very strong. This should be banned. This card is just insane. Close War Goddess. Standard. If you're not playing this in Magnet, there's something wrong with you. Like, this is... You should be playing this every time. I made this, I think, at least double digits amount of times yesterday. It's just so important that you have access to it. Even just outing, like, I outed an SP with this just so I could get the negate on board for the graveyard summon. Like, it's such a good versatile card. And also people just forgot that it's protected. It's a pseudo towers. You have to target this, otherwise it's not getting removed from the board. Net Beast. I apologize for the gold rare. I cannot find my ultra. This card is like fine. So it loses the Super Poly. It loses the Droplet. It loses the Crown. Did that happen to me today? I think I got Dropleted once, and I got Super Polyed once. A lot of hands, I would much rather just go for Guardian. More often than not, you cannot do both, unless you open one of the pieces that gets you there. That's also partially why I want to play more suppliers so that I can facilitate this card a little bit more often. But yeah, it's just like this card is aged for sure, but very powerful. I'm not trying to say this card is bad. It does make our bad matchups better, specifically Branded and Sky Striker. So yeah, this card is just like, it's fine. It's okay. Proxy F. This card was the best bait card ever. Like, I would just summon this, and they'd be like, oh, you can play, I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm like, okay, I have like 4 other lines of play. Or I would hold bonding that I didn't search until they, like, after I summon this. I don't think I resolved this once, the entire day. I think I summoned it 3 times. Every single time it was immediately outed, and I was able to clear the rest of their board after that. People were terrified of this card for no reason. Like, it's just a fusion, and I have to use 4 bodies to do it. Like, I don't understand why people were that scared, but I'll take it. Typhon, this card was crazy for me. None of my cards, except for Exactly Goddess, are 3K or higher. And Nib, obviously, but whatever. I usually summon this after I nib someone, if I do. So this card was great. Helped me facilitate game very easily by just removing one more last piece that was on the board. Fantastic and simplified game states. I summoned this quite a lot. So this card was very, very good for me. I was very happy I played this. And finally, we played 3 super poly targets. So if you remember my matchups, I did not play against Kultun at all. This should have been the second Flux. There's no other card that I would have wanted to play. Flux just came up. The second Flux came up, I think, like 3 different times. If I played against KT, maybe that I would have felt different, but like this one and this one are still pretty good against KT anyway. You don't necessarily need Theseus to beat them. But thank you, Matt Mono, for letting me borrow your copy of Theseus, even though I didn't use it. It was my personal support ship, I guess. All right, next. I used every card in my side, or I sided in every card in my side during the event. That did not mean that I saw it. I did not see a lot of non-engine. And with the exception of, I think, two different cards in my side that I was able to search. So, first, 2 Prulia. Never saw it. This card would have been crazy if I did. Like, honestly, this could have been a 3 instead of, like, the 3rd Sloth. But regardless, I think, I don't know. I feel like 2 is fine. I kind of just don't want to, like, I'm already playing Sloth. I think 2 is, I don't know what I'm saying. It probably should have just been 2. 1 Lava Golem, this is crazy. You can search it off Subspace Battle very easily. This is the card that prevented me from getting Caliugid. Yeah. And also, fun fact, you can bounce it back to your hand off of Flux. Like, this card just does so much for you. And finally, the last monster that I played was Koakimaru Drago. So, this should be standard in this deck. The cool thing about this card is the effect in end phase to blow itself up is an activated effect. So, if you search it or send it, doesn't matter which one because you can bring it back off of Cross Sheep anyway. If you send it or search it off Subspace Battle and you're able to get it on board, it will stay on board. And that was very relevant. This stops Psyframes. This stops Nib. This stops Black Chaos from coming down. Like, this card is insane in this deck, and it's searchable. All of your combos get to this card. Regardless of whether or not you get to this. And if you don't search it off of this, and it blows itself up, you just bring it back and draw phase off of Cross Sheep. This card is crazy. Yeah, like, play this card. There's just a lot of decks that lose to it. For the spells, 3 Sloth. This probably should have just been 2. I had a lot of cards for going second, and probably maybe too much. But a lot of this deck wants to do is kind of out-card the opponent, out-resource the opponent. So seeing more cards in general is just very good. I'll get to what I would have changed for it, I think, once we get to the end of this for the side deck. But I played 3. I did see it, and I resolved it once. I only saw it once. Lastly, for the spells, I played 2 Salesman. We lose the draw. This is also good going second. If there's a problematic card on the board, I want to be able to negate it. So I just call Droll going first, or Ash if my hand loses to Ash. If they have both, oh well. Like, I was never winning that game anyway. Yeah, and it did come in. I did see it. I called Droll. He didn't have it. Doesn't matter. I just don't want to get trolled. For the traps, I played 3 Accusation and 1 Judgment. Judgment was terrible. This card is not good in this format, in my opinion. so many decks have so many pushes now where like the one judgment may not matter. I this should not have been here. I'll explain what I would have put instead. But yeah. Accusation though. I saw it once. It was crazy. Best card, other than Draco, best card on my side. This card was like, I don't think I've ever lost a game where I've resolved this. This card's just bonkers. It should not be a 3. And then lastly, I played 2 evenly. I saw this once. It didn't matter in that particular game because I had to clear my own board for it to be good. Because they had it was against Orcus and they had the counter trap set. And I really didn't want to waste my battle phase if I didn't need to. So, unfortunately, just didn't see it enough for it to matter. It is really, really good against Rolad, which is very relevant. It's just not searchable. So, I don't know if I would have played this. Maybe this should have been a 3 instead, but I don't think that would have mattered too much because a lot of the matchups where this would matter, I'm probably losing that regardless. So, yeah. But to kind of go over what I would have changed if I had like some sort of like could have seen in the future, these would have probably come out. And I think my first choice would have been just 3 Purge and 1 Jizakiro. The reason for this, Jizakiro is one of 2 kaijus that you can search off of Subspace Battle against Rolad. And I know people say like, oh, don't give them a kaiju because they can bounce it. It goes back to your hand, not theirs. So you can just kaiju them again. So if they want to get rid of it, sure. Like, if they want to put it back in your hand, sure. Yeah, man, I'll just kaiju over whatever you summoned. Like, this is probably what it should have been. And that way, if you add this, you can just go for the next, like, a Nib or a Lava Golem instead. You probably won't search anything else, but you still get an out to a card on their board, and that's what matters. This, I definitely needed more copies of Ash, and this is also the reason why I would go to 2 Duo Tyrion and 1 Infernal Punisher. Duo Tyrion you cannot activate on your turn if you purge from the hand. So it definitely makes that a little awkward. However, there was definitely multiple times where I'm like, if I had another copy of, like, if I had Purge in my hand here instead of just only Ash, we would be going crazy. It's also, like, really funny to set this with, like, going second with Accusation, which you can do. But, yeah, this is probably what it should have been. If it wasn't this, I think it could have also just been a 3rd evenly and Jizakiro. Yeah, I think I just put in too much draw and just not enough of what I needed to see. But other than that, I had a really good time. This was a really fun regional, one of the best regional like events I've like been to. Very well run. Thank you to everyone who was really interested in my list. I had a really fun time. And I very much encourage you to play this deck. I've said it before. This deck is cheap. It's easy to play. And it's very rewarding the more that you play with it because this deck can just do so much. I've said that Pure is typically the best version. A lot of people really go for the Fiendsmith version. I don't think this deck needs any help going first. That's just my opinion. I'd much rather have more utility in the extra deck as well. And thanks for watching. See you later.